Well, good evening, and thank you for tuning in to another week with Fathers Who Care. And you know, it is our desire here on this show to bring to you every opportunity we can. Those who have laid the foundation, those whose shoulders we stand on, those who have put up a valiant fight, those who are continuing to fight for righteousness, those who have mentored so many, those who can inspire and educate and enlighten. Basically, I just want to get straight to the show today. I just want to echo some things that I think that you should know today, and I want to sit back and listen to one of my mentors as he tell us and educate us and guide us and give us some encouragement to stir up our spirits that we can do what we're supposed to do during this time in our lives. Listen, Fathers Who Care is a show that where we basically try to make this show geared to trying to encourage, nurture, enlighten, and empower individuals. And we've been doing it for the last few weeks, and we're going to continue to do it. But this particular show, we want to dedicate this show specifically to how we can motivate our community to vote their best interests while bridging the intergenerational gaps to promote a safe and drug-free community. Listen, I would be remiss to keep talking, but I want to talk specifically to our congressman. I want to introduce to some, present to others, encourage you guys to give us a call here at 312-738-1060. You know Congressman Davis. Congressman Davis is no stranger to CAN TV. He's no stranger to Illinois. He's no stranger to the West Side. He's no stranger to the country. He's my national statesman, my congressman, my good friend, and my mentor. And Congressman, I want to thank you again for the work that you're doing, and I want to thank you for all of the years of motivation and all of the years of leadership. And Fathers Who Care wouldn't be a Fathers Who Care, and I can say that honestly, had it not been for one of your public policy groups, one of your task forces, there would be no Fathers Who Care. And I want to thank you, Congressman, and I was getting ready to call you Father, and that's all right. You know what I mean. I want to thank you, Congressman, for always having a listening ear, always open. Your door was always open, and I mean, anytime we needed any assistance, any advice, any encouragement, any nurturing, anytime we needed your name, and we've done it for years, many, many years. So, Congressman, I really want to personally thank you for your leadership. I want to thank you for your commitment to our community, and I want to thank you for bridging the gap for a lot of young people who wouldn't have a way, who wouldn't have an opportunity to excel, to matriculate. And I know that you got so much stuff going on with 31 Task Force, and you're all over that. You're in all of that business. We thank you, Congressman, for the work that you do and for allowing us to stand on your shoulders. And we would like to use this show to first let you know how much we do care about you and do love you. And we admire the work that you're doing. And we want you to educate us tonight on the state of the 7th Congressional District. We want you to tell us what we as concerned citizens can be doing during this time of the year. We want you to motivate these young people to be more actively involved in organizing in their community, to being more involved with trying to rid their community of some of these ills that affect our community. So, Congressman, thank you again. And you can start the show by just telling us, why are you so passionate, Congressman, in the work that you do?
Let me just thank you, first of all, Walter. And I also want to commend you and the young people that I see with you and around you, that you work with, that you mentor on a daily, regular, ongoing basis. The many experiences that you provide opportunity for them to have, and we just need more people like you and those who make up Fathers Who Care. Let me apologize for being a little bit late, but
No, you're not. The show started at 8, you're here.
All right, well,
Yeah.
My sister is in the hospital
Okay.
over at Rush Presbyterian St. Luke's.
Okay.
And I wanted to stop in and see her. She had surgery on yesterday, and so I thought that I could stop there, and then, of course, her daughter and her husband came in, and so, I spent a little time with my niece and nephew, and now I'm here.
And we appreciate it.
And I'm here to try and respond to any inquiries. I just love CAN television, and the reason that I do is, one, they let me do a regular show, and I get a chance to interact with callers who call in and ask questions and provide information. I am convinced that the only way that we will ever really have democracy is through an enlightened citizenry. I say that an enlightened citizenry really is the pathway to democracy.
Okay.
And there's no other way that we can have it. And every time we provide information or respond to people, then we are guaranteeing or doing our best to make sure that democracy continues to exist. Which brings us up to the one time that everybody can participate in what's going on.
Okay.
And that is, if you are 18 years old now, you will have the opportunity, if you have not already done so, to vote. And some people who were going to become 18, they even have and had the opportunity to register so that they too could, in fact, vote. If you don't vote, essentially you're saying that you don't care, or you're saying that you don't understand, or you're saying that you've given up and don't believe that you can influence the outcome of public policy decision making. If you don't participate, it's like watching a football game. You can know all about it, but if you're not out there on the field, chances are you're not going to influence the outcome. You can moan and groan about the Bears, but there isn't much you can do about it.
Congress, we was at an event a little while ago where you was encouraging individuals who were you did a press conference of guys who were formerly incarcerated, and you was encouraging them, even those who have been through something formerly, and who have been redeemed, renewed, inspired, delivered, or however you want to call it, and who are now out here laboring to empower others. You told them, I remember, you say, listen, here's your opportunity now, that when you go into the booth to vote, nobody knows if you're rich or poor. You equal. Can you explain what you meant by that?
Well, the one time that everybody can be equal is when you walk in the voting booth. If you're all trying to decide the outcome of something, if President Barack Obama and I walk into the booth at the same time, he has one vote, I got one vote. And after we leave, he go back to being president.
Absolutely.
And I go back to being whatever I am. And so there's nothing like feeling equal. I mean, you want equal protection under the law. You want equal opportunity. You want equal treatment. You want to be judged fairly and equally. So if you want to experience that kind of equality, the one time that you can do it is when you walk in that booth to vote. I mean, it's there.
Okay.
And you don't have to moan and groan about it. You just do your piece, and anybody else do their piece, and you're all on solid and equal ground. And so, please, if you don't do anything else, experience equality on or before November the 4th, and you can do it if you walk in that booth and select those individuals that you think ought to hold certain kind of offices. And of course, I've got my choices, and I'm putting out what we call sample ballots, just to let people know how I feel about it. And if they want to take that and use it, then it's theirs to use. They don't have to feel ashamed about it. You can take a sample ballot into the booth with you. You can take all the time that you need to take and at least you will know what somebody else recommended, because there's no way for you to know all of the judges who are on there, all of the people running for election on there. You just can't know all of that.
So you're just giving them an idea of who's out there.
That's right, a
and
guide.
who possibly do have your best interest.
And the people that I think have the best interests of our community at heart.
Okay.
And so you don't have to feel dumb because you don't know.
Okay.
But take a sample ballot of somebody you believe in and take that in there with you and go from there.
Congressman, I want to ask you something. I want to go, you say citizenry. I want to come back and hit that in another sense on civil engagement. You know, I've been trying to, some of the young folks I've been talking to and I'll be kind of working with lately, I've been trying to keep them in the circles with different folks and trying to keep them actively involved and doing the work that you kind of motivated us to do.
Well, you are helping them.
Right.
You let me tell you, if I had not had adults as I was a child growing up helping me to understand some of these things, I wouldn't do whatever it is that I do today. I mean, what helped me a great deal was going to church. And, I ain't got no problem telling young people they ought to go to church. Old people, they ought to.
Sir.
Church is a form of renewing. And it's also a form of knowing. And if you can feel something extra, then you got something to call and hold on to when times are tough.
Absolutely.
Or when you're uncertain.
Absolutely.
Or when you don't know which way to turn. And so I advocate very strongly this business of church or synagogue or if you're Muslim, a mosque.
Yeah.
But something that you feel is going to help you in time of need and in time of trouble. So if you do that, then you stand a much better chance of coming out of crisis situations than if you don't do it.
Okay. Congressman, we're going to entertain a couple calls if that's okay.
That's fine with me.
Thank you for calling. Your comment, please. We have Congressman Davis with us this evening. What's your comment?
Yes, good evening, Congressman
How are you?
Davis. Yes, my question, you spoke of a sample ballot with candidates that you recommend.
Yes, ma'am.
I would like to know how could I obtain your sample ballot?
Well, to make sure that you get it, you could call us at 773-626-8481.
Can you do that one more time, Congressman?
773-626-8481. Or our political offices are located at 5641 West Division Street or 2800 West Madison Street, right at Wallace's Catfish Restaurant.
Did you get that, sister?
Okay, is that at California, Madison?
Yes.
Okay, and I can walk in and obtain a ballot.
Yeah, you just come straight through the restaurant to that back room. And that's where...
go straight through the restaurant?
Yeah.
Back room? All right.
Thank you so much for your call. Did we answer your question?
Yes.
All right, thank you for calling. Hey, listen, don't forget to vote, okay?
Oh, absolutely. I'm working the poll.
Don't forget to vote. We'll tell somebody else, all right?
All right, I will.
Bring somebody else. We'll talk to you later. Bless you. Next caller, please. Thank you.
Good evening, how you doing, Congressman?
Well, James, how you doing?
Come on with it.
Okay, what I'm trying to say, Congressman, that when you say people should go to church and they should vote, and then why is so many politicians trying to cut the George Church? His church and close some of his school down. And y'all doing a good job, Congressman Davis.
Well, thank you, James, so much.
Thank you, sir.
It's so good to hear you, and thanks for calling.
Don't forget to vote. Was that it? Let's go to another caller. Caller, your comment or question. Thank you for...
What's the name mean?
Hello?
His responsibility as what you mean?
Okay. Listen, you're watching Fathers Who Care. We have Congressman Davis on the show this evening. Congressman Davis is the congressman of the 7th Congressional District. The number here is 312-738-1060. We're talking with the congressman tonight about the state of the district. We're talking about the state of the West Side. We're talking about how can we get our community to vote their best interests. We're talking to the congressman about how can we empower our young people to be more actively involved in their community, how we can promote a safe and a drug-free community. You're watching Fathers Who Care. The number here is 312-738-1060. We got Congressman Davis on the show. Next caller, please. Your comment or question, please.
Yes. Hello?
Thank you for calling. Your comment, please.
Yes, I have a question for the Congressman.
Okay.
Make sure my TV is turned down.
Okay, thank you for calling.
My question to you is, can you explain to everyone why this the voting is so important for this election, just as it was when it was time to vote for Obama? Why is it so important that we get out and vote?
Okay.
Well, thank you very much for your question. And I always say that every election is important. Some elections are very critical and crucial. This one is critical for the state of Illinois because the outcome of it will determine whether Illinois is what we call a red state or a blue state. If you are a red state, then there are things that the leadership of that state in all likelihood are against. In all likelihood, in a red state, the leaders are against raising the minimum wage. They don't believe that the minimum wage must be raised. A blue state, the leadership does. I believe it, for example, that $8.25 an hour is not enough money to pay an individual who works all week and at the end of the week have not earned enough money to pay the light bill, the gas bill, buy food, buy the children some clothing, send them to school, have money to get on the bus and go wherever you want to go. And so a big difference. Our state is poised to either go forward or to go backwards. Mm-hmm. If you're going forward, then you want to elect people like Pat Quinn, as far as I'm concerned. This isn't the show's position, but this is my position. I believe that Democrats, I am what is called a Democrat politically. I believe that Democrats have more focus on the needs of low and moderate income people, low and moderate income needs. I believe on the other side that those who describe themselves as Republicans often will tell you that they have a business kind of interest with the belief that if you develop businesses, there would be enough of a trickle-down effect that somehow low income, moderate income, middle income, everybody will feel the impact of that. Well, I think that there are some people who need some special help from the government. Mm-hmm. If you have an infirmity, if you have a disability, I believe that you ought to get some help from the government.
Okay, let's get your other call in, Congressman. We thank you for the call, and please remember to vote. Congressman just gave you an overview of red and blue. We want you to vote your best interest. You've heard it from our congressman. Next caller, please. Thank you for calling. Your comment or question?
Yes. My question is, why is it important for you to be involved in the community?
Okay, thank you. Why is it important for young people to be involved in their
community?
We
live in a free, what is called a free and democratic society. And the basis of that is that every individual have as much right and as much responsibility to determine what goes on in that society as everybody else. And so if you're not involved, then you're doing what I call abdicating or giving up some of your citizenship responsibilities and your citizenship rights. I would rather make decisions for myself than to have somebody else make them for me. I just don't believe that there's anybody else who understands my needs and how I feel
Better
as much as I do myself.
So with that said, Congressman, we're going to come back and we'll thank you all for calling. Give us a call here at 312-738-1060. We have Congressman Davis on the line, and Congressman Davis is taking your questions. Call us back. Congressman, we want to talk to you specifically. You shared why young people should be involved. You talked about the seriousness of this time in our lives. I want you to talk to me or talk to the audience about what do you think are some pressing, I mean, you said the minimum wage, but what do you think are some pressing issues on the west side of Chicago?
Education. Let me tell you, if one is educated, it changes their perspective and their understanding of things. So the best thing that a young person can do themselves as they're growing up is to get as much education as they can. And how do you start that? You start by learning to read. If you can't read, it's difficult to understand. Walter, I am so proud of the fact that I have distributed more than 20,000 books in the last 2 months.
And also you have
to young people.
And you give out scholarships.
And we give out scholarships. And scholarships are important. They're not big-time scholarships.
They help a whole lot of people.
Oh, let me tell you, I get letters back from people. I run into them on the street, and some young-looking person will walk up. I was in the pharmacy the other day getting a prescription filled. I felt so good because the pharmacist said, "Did I hear Danny Davis? Was that the name you just called?" And the young person, the lady who called it, said, "Well, yeah, that's Dan." He said, "Let me come out and take his picture." Because when I was going to college, he gave me one of his scholarships.
Yeah, absolutely.
And now I am a pharmacist in this Walgreens store filling prescriptions, and I felt like $1 million. I think that helped me more than the medication that I was
It do make a difference, don't it, Congressman?
Oh, I just felt wonderful.
It makes a difference when you know that you were instrumental in so many people's lives because they wanted to do better, and you were able to whatever degree you could
just
make
a
it
little
possible.
boost.
Let's get some more callers. Let's get some more callers, Congressman.
All right.
We got some more folks want to hear from you. Let's go. Caller, you on there. You're coming to question.
Ain't nobody got no money out here. They see you wearing a shit.
Thank you so much. We encourage you to vote. You know, even though sometimes you might think it's hard, sometimes it ain't as hard as you think it is. It's hard when you do nothing. Let's go. Next caller. Thank you so much for calling. You're coming to question.
I would like to know what are your responsibilities as a congressman.
Okay, Congressman.
One is to make laws to help decide things. For example, we decide whether or not you can kill people in this country. We decide whether or not you can drop bombs on other country. We also decide how much of your check we take out for income tax.
Absolutely.
So that's the first thing, is to what we call legislate. The next thing is to appropriate. We decide what happens to all this money that the government collects.
Is that through their Ways and Means?
It's through Ways and Means. It's through the whole process.
Yeah.
We decide what happens to that money, how to spend it. Then that's called appropriate.
Right.
Then we can investigate to make sure, or try to make sure, that the laws are being carried out the way we intended for them to be, and that the money is being spent the way we intended for the money to be spent.
Congressman, do you still have a passion for being a congressman?
Oh, absolutely. And
now, you've been there since 1997.
That's right. I've been in Congress since 1997. And I tell you, I am probably, it's 435 members of Congress.
Right.
And there are 100 senators. There are 435 members of the House.
Us tonight.
And there are 100 members of the Senate.
Okay.
This year, my number in the House, I think, was about 94.
Now you're talking ranking?
In terms of seniority.
That's what I mean. Right.
Seniority is beneficial in some ways, and one of the main ways it is beneficial is many decisions relative to your placement on committees.
Absolutely.
And when you get called to respond and question.
Now, you're on a lot of committees.
I'm on two, just two.
You're on Ways and Means.
I'm on Ways and Means, and I'm on two subcommittees on Ways and Means.
Yeah, okay.
I'm on Oversight and Government Reform.
Okay.
And I'm on two subcommittees on Oversight and Government Reform.
Let's get this next caller, Congressman. You're on the air with the Congressman. What's your comment or question?
What made you interested in politics?
Woo.
I've always wondered why the world operates the way that it does. I've always wondered, even when I was a little child, why some people were rich and other people were poor, why some people were sick and other people were well. And so it's kind of that natural curiosity that led me to getting involved in community action, community affairs, which ultimately led to being elected to public office. And I think that's what drove me to become a member of Congress.
Let's get another one, Congressman. You're talking to the Congressman. What's your comment or question, please? Thank you.
What does the saying mean, young people can't be what they can't see?
She said, what do it mean when it say young people can't be what they can't see?
Well, it means that if young people don't have certain kind of role models, they won't necessarily subscribe to wanting to be that. I always wanted to be like my father. I'm saying, not that he had a high position or anything. As a matter of fact, my father finished the 4th grade. But he was a wonderful, intelligent man who taught many principles that I subscribed to. That is, my father didn't believe in begging. He used to say he'd rather drink muddy water, sleep in a hollow log, than to go and stand in a welfare line. Well, I never wanted to stand in a welfare line. I wanted to be like him, self-sufficient. And so that's what role modeling is about. And that's what it means. And you don't have to be all that great and so forth, but you can be who you are.
And we want to thank you all for calling. The phones are lit up, but the time on the wall is saying that it's about time. And we want to thank our Congressman for all that he do for so many people for so many years. And we encourage him to keep doing the work that he's doing. Keep on reaching out for those who are less fortunate, and keep on educating us so we can step up and be something, be more than what we used to be. Thank you all so much for calling in. We encourage you to vote. It's not too late to vote. Learn the system. Be engaged. If you don't know, ask somebody that do know. Congressman, any closing remarks?
No, thank you very much. I know that the time is up. I want to thank all of the viewers and all of the callers. And I want to thank people for giving me the opportunity to serve them as their representative in Congress.
We thank you so much for calling. God bless you. Good night. And keep the faith. We'll see you next week. Don't forget to vote.